There are as many as 50,000 people living on the streets of Los Angeles right now. The primary reason is due to the housing crisis and how insanely unaffordable buying or renting a place in the county is. But the Wall Street Journal wants everyone to know about the real victims in California's housing crisis. Wealthy real estate developers who have built too many mega mansions that the vast majority of Americans can't even afford, like the mansion the BBC is about to tell you about, are actually losing money, and I think it's fantastic.
You can be inside and outside at the same time. You can sit in your shallow pool and enjoy your shallow life. That chandelier is yours. That balcony corner is also yours. There's the chandelier again. Twigs in a pot, a massive kitchen you will never use. We just can't get enough of this chandelier. Stairs, living wall, chairs.
Yeah, you see, developers looking to cash in built giant palaces in the hills, hoping that foreign investors, some of whom have resorted to American real estate to launder money, will snatch them up. But things didn't turn out the way these profit-driven individuals wanted. Writing for the Wall Street Journal, Catherine Clark lays out the story. A review of the Los Angeles Multiple Listing Service shows close to 100 homes on the market asking over $20 million in Los Angeles County, at least 35 of which could be classified as spec homes, and more are under construction. There are actually more mega mansions on the market than most people realize. A third of homes in that price category are never entered in the Multiple Listing Service. Really rich dudes are pouring a lot of money into these mansions, and some are getting burned as home sales have slowed down considerably. California businessman Don Henke, who has made a fortune off of subprime car loans, claims that one of his companies has invested $300 million on luxury houses in Los Angeles. And while people are getting pushed out of the homes that they've lived in their entire lives and displaced due to artificially inflated rent and property values, developer Steven Shapiro whines about his ill-informed investment decisions, telling the Wall Street Journal, if I'm living in my house and put it on the market for sale, I'm still living in my house. These are empty houses, and the developer is spending a lot of money every month to keep them. Oh. There's been so much trouble selling these mega mansions lately that developers and real estate agents are resorting to gimmicky events to promote the homes. At least they realize the necessity of magicians to persuade people to buy poorly built and overvalued houses. Alexander Ali's marketing and public relations firm Society Group is capitalizing off of this trend. I mean, who wouldn't? He told the Journal, quote, people come to us because they want to stand out. There are so many new homes coming to the market every day. Los Angeles developer Niall Naimi, who plans to list one mega mansion for $500 million, which by the way is nearly 5 times pricier than the most expensive home sold in LA's history, is all about the pomp and circumstance. In February, he threw an elaborate party where people drank whiskey infused with the body of a dead cobra and dancing women dressed in leather, whips, and chains. A camel stood at the entrance to greet guests. Look, why am I telling you all of this? Is it simply to laugh at the stupidity of the wealthy? Well, yeah, partly, until one of these idiots goes bankrupt 6 times and we elect him to become our next president. Then it's not so funny anymore, is it? But I also think this is a good story to highlight and debunk the propaganda regarding what causes the housing crisis in the first place, like the notion that California is experiencing an extreme housing shortage.
The pace of new housing construction hasn't kept up. Between 2010 and 2017, California issued about 635,000 new housing permits, and that's well under the state's projected housing needs.
Oh wow, the lack of inventory must be the primary reason housing is so expensive in LA. Except that talking point comes from the very people who would profit handsomely off of scrapping zoning laws and constructing new homes. The study cited in that Wall Street Journal video I just showed you was done by the California Association of Realtors, which obviously has a bias in addition to a giant conflict of interest on this very topic. As an Angelino, I've actually seen quite a bit of construction all over Los Angeles. It's just not construction for affordable housing. Let me share a few recent headlines to give you a sense of what I'm talking about. Garden House in Beverly Hills slated to open this fall. Units start at $3.7 million. 6-story apartment building pitched for San Pedro's waterfront. 137 units, 16 of them affordable. $400 million, 42-story skyscraper planned for Miracle Mile. The project will bring 371 luxury apartments, including 56 affordable units. I've seen rent-controlled buildings get sold to developers who evict everyone to build luxury condos and unaffordable apartments over and over again. For instance, there are currently plans for a housing development near USC named The Fig. The developers will demolish 32 rent-controlled units and replace it with a 300-room hotel and 408 luxury apartments. Out of all those rooms, only 82 will allegedly be set aside for those with low incomes. But keep in mind that the city gave the developer a whopping $103 million tax break because the city council thinks that this new structure will boost the local economy. But you know what? I'd argue tourism will probably slow down if our politicians keep making these idiotic decisions. Because who the hell wants to vacation in a city that has a plethora of people sleeping in tents right outside their gold-plated luxury hotel window? Jerome Nash, a notorious real estate mogul in LA, has purchased historic apartment buildings all over West Hollywood and then proceeded to evict everyone to transform the properties into hotels or inns. In one notorious case, he purchased the historic El Mirador apartment building and threw a temper tantrum when he couldn't remodel the building the way he wanted to due to preservation laws for such buildings. As retaliation, he evicted all the tenants in 2010 and the building sits empty today. It's been more than 9 years. It's vacant while people are homeless. Wakey, wakey, people. We don't actually have an inventory problem. There are tons of units that sit vacant in LA. Curb Los Angeles reported that the city led California in housing development in 2018. Yet we keep hearing moans and groans from developers who claim that there are too many zoning laws and regulations stopping them from building affordable housing. Yeah, I call BS. Developers in the city of Los Angeles built 16,525 units of housing in 2018, more than 3 times the amount produced in any other California city. This new construction is not affordable housing. And we keep giving these goons tax breaks for their mega mansions, luxury hotels, and bland yet overpriced apartment buildings. Let me be absolutely clear. We have an affordable housing problem because greed and corruption have been dwindling the supply of places people can actually afford to live in. And on top of it all, we have this.
Chinese buyers are currently leading foreign investments in United States real estate. And nearly 40% of the Chinese buying American real estate make their purchase in California. Their bids were often placed at the higher end of the market, which contributed to accelerating market rates.
Yeah, accelerating market rates, meaning foreign investors are inflating the price of US real estate, which is a disaster for people who are dealing with stagnant wages in America. Hey, America, stop allowing foreign investors to snatch up real estate in our country when they have no intention of living here full time. Restrict businesses like Airbnb from converting long-term housing into short-term rentals in areas where homelessness is out of control. And for the love of God, please stop rewarding developers with massive tax breaks as they take a wrecking ball to affordable housing. We need to take care of our fellow Americans with those very resources. And by the way, we need to get mental health care if that's the main reason people are on the streets. Few things rile me up more than this very issue. And I'm tired of looking around and seeing the wealthiest country in the world look more like a third world country for the masses.